Tell her not to play, she's a girl. So his hand turned around and said, yeah, but my mum was a girl and she was a world champion.
Now, my kids, literally, because of the things that are being said at school, like I've literally changed the clothes I wear. But I want to tell you, 50% of me is so scarred by my childhood that I'm paranoid my kids will put on weight. When I went to receive the national award, they asked me, who's your plus one? And I had no one.
The amount of times I've skipped dinner because I didn't want to eat alone.
The issues, I'm the only dad on 2 WhatsApp moms groups.
Yeah.
And when Kuch Kuch Hota released, he thought I was James Cameron overnight. I said, Bhai, I want to tell you, you're a living legend. But in this, I'm your savior. हर किसी को नहीं मिलता यहाँ प्यार जिंदगी में. खुशनसीब है वो जिनको है मिले ये बहार जिंदगी में.
That was a winner. I think you're fully lying.
But I've never played
Now
pickle.
you have to tell me, why did you choose paddle over pickle?
So pickle is what I endorse. Pickle is what you and I really actually have put out there, and from the beginning we've supported. Paddle just so happened that the group of friends who I had way back in Bandra.
Which I'm still supposed to come as your partner.
I kept saying, Sania, please come so I can show off. Because I keep getting thrashed on that. And Aryan, apna bads of Bollywood now, superstar Aryan, he built a paddle court in Mannath. It just became easy because it was right next door.
So
and all the people I knew who were bad players were playing paddle.
But you're taking me as a surprise doubles partner, right, for paddle?
I want to just show up and say, I have a friend, I don't know how well she plays, and bring you. And then I thrash all of those people who've been bullying me for the last 6 months.
I think you're playing very well.
I think I've improved. I've become from god-awful to bad.
No,
I
don't believe.
I have to get to a good level. Right now, I'm just a bad paddle player and a first-time pickle player.
This is very good. Let's play one more.
Let's do it.
There, we have to stop on that with
Yes,
you winning that point.
on that note.
Well done.
Listen, I feel honored.
No.
That I played any kind of racket sport with you.
And you won the
You're a
last
legend.
point.
And I won the last point. I think you did that purposely to make me feel good.
No, I didn't.
I think you did that. Let's do that.
So now, with paddle, we'll also have to do one game of pickle.
Paddle, though, we won't do. Now we'll do pickle. We're committed to it. We are partners in this enterprise. So we have to now play pickle together.
But you were very good. And I'm not just saying that because you're a guest on my show, but you were actually good for somebody who's never played it.
No, actually, I've never played pickle, and paddle, I'm like almost like a newbie. But when I was young, there was a club right opposite where I stayed. It was called WIA Club. And I used to play badminton and table tennis. Those are the only 2 things. And then I started growing really large. So badminton started stopping. Table tennis was still okay. So because you played that racket sport, there's a connect
hand-eye coordination just happens, right?
So that just is.
But you can see that straight up. So you've always made other people spill the tea, right? So it's your turn now. You've got some pictures.
Yes,
let's hear the
lots of lovely
stories.
So this is actually at Rani's daughter Adira's second birthday, and Taimur and Yash, me and Bebo here. For me, it was like beautifully emotional that though I was an older parent, because I had my twins when I was 44, but it was so beautifully coincidental that Rani and Adi, who are like my best friends and family, had Adira a year before, and Bebo had Taimur 2 months before. So Taimur was born December 2016 and my kids are born Feb 2017. So Taimur and Yash are in the same class. Taimur, Yash and Ruhi go to the same school. So this picture is actually so emotional for us because I can't believe Bebo and me have been like she's literally like a younger sister to me. And then we have kids the same age and they're all growing up together. Today they're all Adira's best friends
and
with Yash and Ruhi.
They'll be like best friends growing up.
They're all best friends. Taimur is
so
Yash's
amazing.
best friend. They have football class together. They play video games together. Adira and Yash and Ruhi are in taekwondo class together. It's really quite beautiful. This is me at 17. with my father.
You're not looking plus size there, by the way,
No,
at
here,
all.
so I'll tell you what happened here, and I'll tell you. This is in Delhi, in our house in Nizamuddin West. This is the time where I went to college. And in college is the first time you get exposed to being in colored clothes. In a uniform, you
Yeah.
kind of blend, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But in colored clothes, you stand out. And I remember going on, terrible, never do it. It was that time's version of the keto diet. It was called the Atkins diet, where
Yes.
you ate high protein and nothing else. And I remember losing 30 kilos, of 30,
There.
35 kilos, because in college, I was like, I need to be thin. And because it was the pressure, right, of everybody being thin in
Yeah.
colored clothes, and you wanted to be kind of noticed and
And
look
the
good and all
looking,
that
yeah.
nonsense. So this was Delhi. I remember we were there for a family wedding, and I remember taking that photo. This is when they were just born. And my mum, we were at the hospital, at Surya Hospital, which is right here, right next door to where the house is. Dr. Avasthi and Dr. Sonal, who are my pediatricians, it's their hospital. And my kids were blessed because they had just come out of the NICU. They were premature.
They were premature.
They were born 9 weeks prior to their delivery date. And the first couple of days were a bit critical, but then they were fine and great care at
I
Surya
saw them
Hospital.
soon after this.
Yes, you came
when
home.
I came
When
home,
they came
yeah.
home, you
I
came
think it was
home to
maybe
see
a
them.
week into it or something. and
They came home end of March. They were in that hospital for
So when you
actually
came home,
about
yeah.
6 weeks.
Yeah.
About 6 weeks, yeah. Okay, this is on Ranbir's birthday, right pre-pandemic, and I think it was also an emotional day for reasons, to do with his dad's health, but it was also his birthday, and we just landed up to wish him, and everybody we called just came.
They just came.
Just came because it was also an emotional day, but plus it was his birthday, and randomly we took this image that
This
went.
is one of the most famous pictures.
Yeah, it went fully
yeah,
viral.
it went fully
Because
viral.
look at the cast it has. Like, this is a mega cast.
Yeah.
I don't think actors like this can ever come
Imagine
together in a
having a
frame.
movie with this cast.
So I would say after Ellen DeGeneres'
Yeah,
Oscar
yeah.
selfie, this is not a selfie, but it's
This
definitely
is-
one for the books.
Yeah.
So this is an emotional moment for me. This is June 2004 at the IFA Awards. My dad was awarded with a Lifetime Achievement Award. Also, this was his 10th month post his diagnosis for cancer. And it was just an emotional moment because Jaya Auntie was giving him the award. I had made a speech about him right before, and he came on stage, and I just love this image because it just
Such a
shows
beautiful image.
my
But
my
you look so
love,
emotional just
reverence,
in that
and
picture.
it was an image that is very close to my heart, and I have it hung up actually on my office wall. My debut as an actor. This is
Lots of people remember this.
is
I
the
think.
song Ruk Ja on the sets at Mehboob Studio. We were shooting. I played a part in the film because the actor who was meant to do the part didn't show up to Switzerland. So an assistant had to fill in, and guess who that assistant was? Me. My first, but I can always say that my debut film is still running in the theaters. I was part of a historical film.
Of course. But you look so different there.
Yeah, I
So-
mean, I've gone through shapes, sizes,
Yeah.
stages, ages, rages, all kinds of things. Two of my favorite actors in one frame. This was at a Manish Malhotra fashion show backstage. I'm a huge, huge, huge Sridevi fan.
Yeah,
My
we all
entire
are.
childhood is two women, Sridevi and Lata Mangeshkar.
Oh,
I
really?
can dedicate my entire childhood to the magical, magnificent, mythical voice of Lataji and just the sheer genius of Sridevi. But also Juhi, I have so many fond memories of, loved her on screen, and she was a dear friend of the family, continues to be, and I have a lot of warmth for both these lovely ladies, and I'm so
Yeah.
glad I have an image with them.
Yeah.
That too at Manish Malhotra's fashion show, who's my
Amazing.
best friend.
Thank you for sharing those memories, and I think that those pictures were specially chosen because they feel like they were so close to your heart.
Yeah.
They just seem, and I can see it when
Yeah,
you're talking about
yeah.
them. So thank you for sharing that. You've been part of the industry for so long and a part of beauty and how much beauty matters, right? And today with social media, and you've been part of generations of actors who've aged as we all have aged. And today it's become so hard with all the judgments and stuff like that. So do you feel that challenge as you're growing older on appearances and stuff like that and the comments that come in, or have seen some of your close friends, actors who are constantly judged and by, oh, you're looking so old, or she's, I mean, how do you see them deal with that?
What do I say? It's become a double-edged sword. I always believe that you have to adapt to your time. But there is a dark, deep, ugly, and like a really unfortunate part of social media, which is that you're open for judgment by the entire universe, by the entire digital universe. So now, from people wanting to change their face, alter their weight, change their wardrobe, worry about each comment made. For people with low self-esteem issues, with low morale issues, it's the worst place to be on.
Yeah.
I mean, I know people are zooming into your skin, they're zooming into your body, they're zooming in like it's terrible. It's really god awful because you're defined at a very early young age by what's written about you. Like I know kids in college and school, not college, let's even not go that far.
Yeah.
12 and 13-year-olds who have Instagram accounts are like getting all kinds of anxiety about why they're low on followers, why they're not looking as hot. They're worried about what their bodies are looking like at 12 and 13 when they go on trips abroad or to Goa and whose bikini body is better. And then I'm like, it's crazy, they're kids. When I was 12, when you were 12, we ate what the hell we wanted. I mean, you, of course, at a very young age started getting very sporty and healthy. But for some of us who grew up in a normal environment, nobody looked at what we wore.
Nobody cared.
And I mean, I was a plus-size kid. I was an effeminate child. And I was allowed to still, be happy. Today, I get worried about children who are different from the others, either physically or in terms of their personality type, because kids can be ruthless, they can be brutal.
Yeah, they're tough.
As can people, grown-ups can be as well. So I feel terrible that kids of this age have to go through this, and it's a toxic time. It's an unfortunate time. And
has your relationship with your body image, has your relationship healed, or has it changed? Or like we've mentioned off camera as well, we talk about like how you were bigger when you were when we've had lunch, you've said, this is what I did to become fit.
I've always been very uncomfortable in my skin. I've said it on platforms that I've had body dysmorphia. I still do. I'm much more comfortable today with the weight that's gone off, that I'm easier, but by 10%, not entirely. Because in my head and in my thinking, I will always be a plus-size kid who was teased for my weight at a very young age. And I have huge amount of issues of showing any part of my body where I know that, which are not what considered aesthetic.
Supposed to be, yeah.
Like now I have a lot more confidence. Like recently, I went for a trip to Italy and we were all on a boat, and I've never worn shorts in my life for a photograph.
Really?
And I was like, I've been doing playing some sports, swimming. My legs were, in my head, were not looking so bad. So suddenly I did these photographs where I got in shorts and I posted them. And there were many comments that were like full of love and complimentary, and there were huge amount that was completely like, इसको क्या हो गया है? ये बुढ़ा पागल हो गया है? इस उम्र में shorts पहन के क्यों घूम रहा है? ये अपना chest क्यों दिखा रहा है? ये क्या? I'm like, मेरी मर्जी.
Yeah, of course.
मेरा जिस्म, मेरी मर्जी. My body, my problem, my decision. And I'm like, I would not have done this at a certain age, but that doesn't mean that you should not be comfortable in what body. I do not endorse my own issue. The fact that I was plus size and had these body issues, I was never happy with. Today, when I see, like we did a song recently with VD, we were just talking about Varun, so it comes, a song called Perfect. And there's a plus size girl doing this dance right at the end.
Yeah,
it's
I've
a Guru
seen it,
Randhava video. And I'm like, the way that girl owns her presence, the way she moves, I was so envious. Because every time I've seen a plus size girl own it or a plus size guy own it, like one of my best friends is a boy called Amrit. Amrit is so plus size. He's not aware of it. He thinks he's the hottest, coolest, swaggiest guy. He always gets the hottest girls interested in him. And I look at him and I'm like, I've been working for 3 decades and I would be considered a public figure and people would consider that, oh, he would have such an amazing, rollicking sex life. Or not realizing my low self-esteem issues and the problem that I want the lights off at any given point of time. And I look at him and I'm like, oh my God, Shanu Sharma, this casting director. And I have to talk about these people because they've been so deeply influential in my life. And I see like, she doesn't think in her head that she's a plus size girl. And I love that about her.
No, but for me, the thing is, even if you are, it should not matter,
But it does, Sania.
I understand
you have to get into my head to know how it
I was a
matters.
kid who grew up with pimples, for example, and my insecurity, and today I think I put 17 things on my skin. I think it's coming from there, because of the trauma I've had of the things that I've read about myself when I was 15, 16 years old, saying, her skin this and her skin
and the
that.
trauma doesn't come from your own emotion. It comes from what people make
from
you
the
feel.
outside.
It does. I wouldn't have felt if there weren't 100 kids at that time who commented on me. Words like, firstly, I was large and then I was effeminate. So you've heard words like, hey fatty, hey motu, paunchy, hey pansy, hey this, hey... You've heard all this and you don't understand what it can do to your mental health. And you today talk about mental health and talk about counseling and psychiatry.
It wasn't there then, nothing.
We had nothing. We had our moms and dads to depend on, and many a time Indian parents brush issues under the carpet. And my dad would tell me, puppy fat hai, chala jayega. And my mother if I was not running in a certain way like a boy, she wouldn't say anything. And night time, there were times I would cry, but it's not like she had the wherewithal. Poor thing didn't understand what to say and how to deal with me. You know, she knew I was suffering, but silently, and she was just there to give me love. But at that time, you don't just need love.
Yeah.
You need to be explained certain things that, you know, this is not what defines you. Your body cannot define you. Your personality comes from your brain, your intelligence, your values. They define you.
Yeah, of course. And you've also had a complex relationship with food.
Yes.
And do you think that's improved now? Think that that relationships
No, man,
healed?
like I look at, like, it's strange, but food used to be my comfort when I went through any kind of childhood
Like
trauma.
a lot of people.
You know, so for me, butter naan and chicken makhan wala, or chicken fried rice and chicken Manchurian at that time, or chicken, there was something called American chop suey, which
Yeah.
or eating a sizzler at Kobe, or like having, like, going to this place called Bachelors and eating strawberries and cream, or having masala milk at Anando, or having just this thick milkshake. These were my comfort spaces. Food was my comfort, was my ally. And then I realized what it was doing to my body. And at one point, I started looking at it like as an enemy. So I went through the most toxic relationship with food till I realized that today there are choices where you can enjoy your meal and yet not, you know, kind of be unhealthy.
Yeah.
Today, and I'm not an endorser of cheat meals, because I feel a cheat meal is something that you're doing like you feel you're cheating on something. And cheating is not right in any which
Yeah.
way, okay? I can't be eating this cheat meal. I'd rather eat 7 days of what I normally eat. And even on one of those 7 days, if you eat something
Little
out of,
bit
out of the
extra.
syllabus,
Yeah,
it's fine.
it's fine.
But like now I know that gluten, I can do without. Sugar
Yeah.
is not something I need. If I need to have a piece of, I eat it and I get happy and I don't look at it again because I've built that mechanism. I've learned to deal with food post my years of trauma with it in a much more stable manner today. And now food is not my enemy, it's not my ally.
I think the whole thing about like healthy eating is not about doing it like I'm on a diet, right? It has to be a lifestyle choice that we have to make.
You know, there was a scene in Zoya Akhtar's film, Dil Dhadakne Do, a scene where Shefali is deeply wounded
Yes.
about something and she eats this cake.
Yes.
And when I saw that scene, I had tears in my eyes because
you
that's
could
me.
relate to it.
Because I remember there was a lady called Azra Gorewala who used to make this chocolate cake. She used to make it out of bleach candy. And I used to call her and say, Auntie, it's my birthday. I want a 1 kilo cake. And I would send somebody to collect it. And
Was it your
would
birthday?
come. It was never my
It was
birthday.
never your birthday.
One particular year, she called my mom and she said, Mrs. Johar, I want to bring to your notice, your son has called for 4 chocolate cakes saying it's his birthday in the same year. And my mother just reprimanded me at that time. But those days, I remember opening this brown box, seeing this beautiful icing. Anybody who grew up in South Bombay will know exactly what I'm talking about. And she had this lovely, colorful icing on this black, smooth chocolate cake. And I would sit with this big spoon and eat the whole cake, and gave me so much joy in those days.
So, do you think that our kids, because we are so much more aware now, right? We're so much more aware about mental health, we're so much more aware of the things that you're just talking about. Do you think that they have it better a little bit because we can actually explain it to them?
Partially, but I want to tell you 50% of me so scarred by my childhood that I'm paranoid my kids will put on weight. So I keep saying, don't eat sugar, don't eat sugar. Dara ate a lot of sugar and Dara suffered, don't eat sugar. And then part of me feels like be yourself. So I'm going through a Gemini moment in my parenting, where part of me is wanting to be completely liberate them of any baggage, but part of me is carrying trauma. I carry childhood trauma. When I see them not playing a sport and when they bunk football because they've done too many classes that day, it gets me wired up. I get angry because I'm like, no, go to the gym.
You should go.
Go play football. Like, please, please play sport, because no one forced me. No one pushed me on a football court. But also at that time, even when I wanted to play, it was like, oh, who'll take Karan in their team? Because I was a liability at that
Yeah.
point to them.
No.
You know, and I was like, who? So they were like, oh, play dabba-gul with the girls, you know, because football's not for you. You know, or cricket is not for you, or any sport for that matter that required certain kind of energy or sportsmanship or
Yeah.
being a boy was not apparently me. And I'm also in a conflicted zone of parenting where part of me wants to allow them to breathe, but part of me is carrying my trauma, which unfortunately I'm subjecting them partially to.
So, we have kids around the same age, and
Yeah.
I know I'm worried for it. Do you?
I'm very worried.
Yeah.
I keep their iPad time and their
Limited.
screen time is
Yeah.
limited, but yet things are popping up. And you know, Sania, what's really scary about me is that there are things that I may have done, like, as a form of my expression. Like, I know I've danced on reality shows.
Yeah.
I'm a filmmaker. And I've danced, like, on Jaya Pradha's steps to a song called Duffly Wale, not on Rishi Kapoor's steps. Now, my kids, literally, because of the things that are being said at school, like, I've literally changed the clothes I wear. I'm adapting so that they don't have to be afraid of what people at school might say. If I wear a sequins jacket, which I love wearing bling,
Yeah.
and
We know.
I'm a maximalist. Like, I like
Yeah.
that. But now I'm actually, and there are many people who say, oh, be who you are. It doesn't matter your children. But you're always worried as a parent that,
Yeah.
your children, and I'm worried they'll go online and they'll start finding all kinds of footage and stuff that may embarrass them. And I hope they aren't.
Yeah.
Because I want to continue being the person I am. I don't want to change just for like what the world says or what the optics in the universe are, I want my kids to be accepting of everything and everyone. And I try and keep that communication open even at home. Like I try from the very young age, we say all the wrong things at home to our kids.
Yeah.
We say things like, don't cry like a girl. It's the worst thing you can tell a child because you're immediately genderifying
Yeah.
crying. Crying is for everyone. Doesn't matter what your gender is.
Yeah, because we associate crying with a feeling of weakness, right? That
Yeah.
is where it comes from. And
only boys apparently should be strong and girls should not.
Exactly. So like you have a boy, I have a boy as
Yeah.
well. And basically one time my cousin was playing cricket and she was a girl and she was playing cricket and with her husband and Izhan. And the husband just said, oh no, tell Neha Khala not to play, or tell her not to play, she's a girl. So Izhan turned around and said, yeah, but my mom was a girl and she was a world champion.
Yes.
So but that comes from our homes where we
Of
start
course.
and how we educate them, right?
From the absolute stigma for a boy attached to a color like pink. Like, oh, apparently everything that comes for a boy is blue and everything that comes for a girl. Because
Yeah,
I have twins, like, of two opposite genders. So,
Yeah.
like, the boy will get the blue and the girl. I hate that.
Yeah.
Like, I constantly tell people, please, if you're going to send, like, a girly thing, send it to both.
Yeah.
If you're going to send something, if you're going to send a PS5, send it to both.
both, yeah.
Because they both are in taekwondo, they're both playing football, they're both in gym class together, they're both in dance class together.
Yeah.
So they do everything because that's the kind of parenting that I would like my children to have. So they don't go through what I went through in school.
You also went through voice coaching.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't want to ask you the question. I want you to tell me, why did you do that?
When I was right out of my ICSE exam, I had summer vacations and I was a course junkie. I used to do courses all the time. I loved learning new things. Boys my age were playing sport at those days. I was learning cookery. I learned even fruit and flower arrangement. I even did an import-export class. One of the courses I was very passionate about. I learned French. I speak French fluently, by the way. It's a language I speak
Really?
as well as
I
English
didn't
and
know that
Hindi. I
about
speak it
you.
fluently. I did it for 7 years. I have a diploma. I did public speaking because I used to love elocution and drama in school. And the gentleman who ran the academy, right after the first 2 sessions I had, he came up to me and he said, you are a very bright kid and you speak very well, you're very articulate, but you sound like a girl. You have a very effeminate personality and your voice is that of a girl, and the world is tough on men who speak like this. So can I help you make your voice get a baritone and sound more like a man? Now, I'm going back 1989, right,
Yeah.
Sania? Like, this was a very impressionable time for any kid. We weren't aware. There was no wokeness. There was no self-awareness. There wasn't any counseling to help you, guide you, to tell you to be the person you are.
It wasn't the most inclusive time.
It wasn't an inclusive time. It wasn't a time where you were hyper self-aware. You were vulnerable. You were scared and worried. So I went with that advice, and I did 3 years of voice coaching with him and his wife, his wonderful wife, and they were very sweet. The intention was lovely,
Yeah.
and it was a paid. I went thrice a week and I paid, but I told my dad because I was so ashamed to say what I was really doing. I was also scared that he would ask me
And that he would
why.
judge you
So
or-
that he would just wonder why I'm doing
Yeah.
this, because he looked at me very differently. He was a very progressive man in many ways. He never ever questioned the way I walked or talked or danced in
Yeah.
front of his eyes. He was proud of everything I did. But I wanted to do this because that coach told me, he said, you will not face the world with confidence that you need if you don't sound like a man. And I told my dad I'm going for computer class.
Really?
So he would give me the money and I would give it to my coach. 3 years I did voice and walking because I used to walk like a girl. I used to run like a girl. Also, I was told. Now, this is all things that I was told, not that I knew better. I used to sound like a girl, and my voice really changed. He really made me. I would not say I became Rambo
How old were
overnight.
you? Just out of curiosity.
I was
around?
15.
Yeah, okay.
And
So you
this
were
went
also
on
in
till I
that
was 18.
transition
Yeah.
of like the voice and
This went on
everything.
till I was 18 or 19. And then when I was 19, the funniest thing happened. The computer came into my dad's office. And he was like, "You've been doing it for 3 years. Now here's the computer." And I'm like, I had never looked at a computer in my life because I was not doing computer classes. I was
Yeah.
like, "Papa, mujhe nahi pata. I don't know what to do." And he's like, "3 saal kya kar rahe the tum computer mein? Aisa kuch alag tha." I made some excuse and got out of there because it was hilarious. Because after 3 years of telling you,
Sounds
I'm
like a movie
diligent.
scene.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m., I was at this gentleman and his wife's house, and I was there for 2 hours, 3 times a week.
What was your dad's?
He just thought
He was like,
I mean,
what?
he's no more. And I wish I could tell him that, Dad, I was learning how to sound like a man.
You
Which
didn't
is
tell him?
advice that I would never give my child today. If today my son or my daughter had a preference, I would allow them to be who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
Different
not going to
times.
come in their way. You know, Lord knows I of all the people can't.
But imagine, I was just thinking when you said talk show host as well. I mean, because I see you as a friend, but I also see you more as a director. And we were just talking about how you've been hosting
Yeah.
Filmfare for now 25th year,
Yeah, my
right?
God.
And for someone who's had to take voice coaching and someone who was told that the world is not going to accept you if you
Yeah.
don't talk a certain way,
Yeah.
isn't it incredible that one of you're known for hosting
Yeah.
shows, you're known for talking on stage, you're known for that, and it doesn't matter how you speak. It honestly doesn't matter.
I mean, you know, that man subconsciously gave me a lot of confidence, and I realized that's not the right approach for kids today, but it was the right approach for me. And now, when I stand, like, this is my 25th year as a host.
Yeah.
I hosted my first film fair in the year 2000, and now I'm hosting this film fair, which is on the 11th of October in Ahmedabad.
Oh.
And I'm like, 25 years, I've seen all the stars today who have been hosts. I've hosted with every one of them. I've seen them all come
Yeah.
and go in front of my eyes. Like all these magical Manish Pauls, Bharti, even Ayushman who was an RJ, I've hosted with him. Like all of these have come much after me.
Yeah,
I've been,
of course. And they're much younger
I
than
was
you.
telling Bhai the other day, 2 years ago, when he was hosting Shah Rukh, I was telling him in Ahmedabad. He was like, "तूने rehearsal ही नहीं किया है? मैं 7 दिन से rehearsal कर रहा हूँ. तू एक दिन पहले आके तू अपना lines बोल रहा है." I said, "Bhai, I want to tell you, you're a living legend. But in this, I'm your senior." I said, "In this, I'm your senior." I said, "You will still be more magical and
Yeah.
absolutely more magnificent on stage because you are the king and you are the king of entertainment."
And he's also
But-
the king of spontaneous humor,
and yeah,
right?
he can do anything.
Yeah.
He's the brightest man I know. But I said, in this department, I am your senior. I said, ये मैंने 25 साल से मैंने किया है, so that teleprompter I can read in my sleep.
That actually leads me nicely to my next question. And Shah Rukh has spoken about how he was once surprised that you actually write in Hindi because
Yeah.
there's a misconception about people that are from South Bombay.
Yeah, that who don't
and
speak
yeah,
Hindi.
that they don't speak. And to be fair, a lot of people don't. They say abhi aayega and this
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they speak
No,
a certain way.
I mean-
But I want to ask you that, do you feel that even today you have to, because somebody as close as you were to Shah Rukh, even he was surprised
Yeah.
with it, but do you feel that you have to almost remind people sometimes even today that you are, or what real Karan Johar is? Do you feel that?
You know, I think, Sania, what has happened is that talk show somewhere created an image of me that is far removed from the person I am. They feel you're this diva, you feel
Yeah.
you're this like looking down at certain things or being this like against outsiders and for the industry. And they've made a narrative about you that has just stuck. And then there are people who've spoken about it in that context, and people have believed those people. And then there's been a narrative online where he's this bitchy, gossipy, like drama queen with like diva energy. And I'm like, I wish you really knew. And now I
You're
don't.
so far from that. That's the
Yeah.
amazing part about it.
But that's what people have realized only when they get to know
Yeah.
me. But the ones who don't know me, they have this, and I get this a million times when I met people and they say, "Oh, you're nothing like we imagined." And the imagination comes from perception. Perception comes from a whole host of different reasons. And now I've grown to realize that I, at 53, having lived a full life, being a parent of twins, living with my mom for 53 years, seeing her go through health issues, losing a parent at a young age, combating with like broken heart situations, and dealing with mental
Just
health
life
issues,
in
dealing with
general,
mental
yeah.
health issues, going through my bout with anxiety, dealing with everything. And I realized that I cannot like justify who I am anymore to anybody. I'm like, I've led a life. I know what I've lived. One thing I've done, in my opinion, is that I've built my karma points. I feel my karma bank is in a really solid place.
Yeah.
Like I can almost give you some of that saving because I have it all in abundance. I know it and I don't need to prove it.
Everybody doesn't need to know the real you, right?
And
Nobody, and it
doesn't
doesn't
bother
matter.
me anymore.
Yeah,
You
it
know, at
doesn't
one
matter.
point of time, I was a people pleaser. It mattered what people thought of me. For many years, it hasn't. For
Yeah.
many years, it's left my system because I'm like, Tera, it's in our aarti, you know, which we've sung religiously.
Yeah.
Om Jai Jagdish Hare has a line that Tera tujhko arpan, kya lage mera. It's there in our scriptures, it's there in our songs.
Yeah.
Ke, you be you do you. You let me be me.
Yeah.
I know that I'm eventually going to be a recipient or a loser because of my karma.
Yeah.
Either which way, just watch your karma. That's all I say. The line is, Tera karam hi teri vijay hai. Your karma is your only victory in life.
So taking you many years ago, your first film, Shah Rukh had given you 2 years to write that film
No.
at that point, or less, or more?
Well, he told me in May 95 that he would give me dates in October 97.
So 2 years.
So yeah, 2
So
years.
about two- more- a little more than
over
2 years.
And then, but I thought he was not really going to follow
He
this
just said-
through. I just thought he was being polite. It was cold in Switzerland. We were standing, having some coffee. And he said, तुझे अपनी पहली फिल्म बनानी चाहिए. I said, हाँ, 6 साल 7 के बाद. He said, नहीं, अभी immediately तू जाके लिख release के बाद और फिर मुझे आके सुना. And I'll tell your father when I land.
But was it like terrifying? Was it exciting? Like, or it was
At that
not-
time, Sania, it was a
nothing?
blur because I thought he wasn't. I thought I've been grown up to say that actors हैं, कुछ भी बोलते हैं, they're not
you're
really going to really follow through. And you know, I'm a producer's son, so you're always looking at actors like they're in another team.
Yeah.
You know, like हम producers, we are the lowest hanging fruit in the system. Actors, stars हैं, वो कुछ भी कह सकते हैं. But I came back from the outdoor. He followed through with my dad. The film released October 95. I went to Bhai. He was shooting for a film called Chahat in Jaipur. Jan 96. I told him what kind of film. We discussed just the outer structure. I came back to him at the end of 96. I took very long somehow to write it. And he was on my set October 97.
So he stuck to his word.
He told me the month and the year and he was on that set.
Can you imagine? And imagine the kind of films you've gone on to make with him
Yeah.
after that, and
Yeah.
who would have thought? I wanted to ask you about your relationship with dad. You know, I come from a very small family as well, just the 2 sisters, and we've gone in a car as a family in some 7th-hand car, which used to stop every 1 hour and travel the whole country when I was 12, 13 years old. And that was a sacrifice my parents were making and the commitment. And you had an amazing, incredible relationship with your dad. And I just want you to talk about that relationship just a little bit.
My dad is not by my own admission, but if you go to any person in the industry and ask them about my dad, he was, जैसे वो कहते हैं ना, there's a difference between being Amir and being Rais. Because Raisi has nothing to do with the money in your bank.
Yeah.
It is to do with your being, who you are. So my father was never Amir. He was very Rais. Rais in character.
That's amazing.
Rais in humanity. Rais in the richness of heart. He had the most giving heart. He was possibly the best human being I have encountered in my life. And I'm blessed that that best human being so happens to be my father. He raised me with the strongest values. He used to always use this word, dunyadari. You know, you have to be there for people and their time of need.
Yeah.
It's dunyadari. He believed in the power of karma. He believed in the power of goodness. He believed, give, but do not expect.
Back.
Because he used to say कि तुमने दिया, ठीक है, तुम्हारी वजह से जो तुम्हें मिलना है वो मिल जाएगा, but please don't expect something back in return. If you've given 100 rupees, doesn't mean that you should expect that 100 back. If you get nothing back also, you should be happy you gave. And he put that into my head as a child, and he was the most, unlike other fathers and sons, Sania, that there's always a bit of awkwardness, there's no tactility, there's no physical interaction. My father was a hugger and a kisser. He used to hug me even when and he used to make me sit on his lap even though I was 100 kilograms. He would pinch my cheeks and he would kiss me and he would keep hugging me. We had a very, very warm, wonderful, and he was obsessed with me.
Yeah.
Like to the extent that he would refuse to see my flaws. Even when I was a certain size, like I told you earlier on in this chat, he said, puppy fat hai, chala jayega. And you know, he would come and make me dance. And I remember to many people, it must have seemed unusual that I'm dancing to this Kathak style dancing on Duffly Wale. And he would clap his hands with joy.
He was
He
so
never
proud.
once felt that my son is doing something that a girl should do. He never thought it, he never felt it. And he thought I was the most handsome boy on planet Earth. And when Kuch Kuch Hota Hai released, he thought I was James Cameron overnight. He would go and tell everybody, मेरा बेटा जो है ना director number 1 है. वो हिंदुस्तान में क्या globally सब. And I would go, I want to dig a hole and jump into it because I was so awkward that he was saying these things next to me, but he believed it. He raised me. In fact, my confidence comes from the energy my father exuded and gave me. Because the world was saying something else, but he said something else. And I'm glad I had that balance. Yeah.
And it's so refreshing to hear, right? Because in times where, like you said, fathers and sons, their relationships are super complex a lot of the times. And yours was the opposite of that.
He was not my hero. He was like my fan. He was my fan. Like I was obsessed with his obsession for me. And like it was like there was nobody better. He had blinkers on when it came to me. Like my poor mother was trying to discipline me, giving me 25 rupees a week. And then my father would give me 100 at the end and say, "Rakh le." So I always had more pocket money, though we were least affording. I had more pocket money than all the kids in my class because of my dad. He would just spoil me. My mother would discipline me. If I woke up in the morning with even a sneeze, he would say, "Soja, school mat ja." And I would say, "Okay," and go inside. My mother would wake me and say, "Shut up and go to school." Like, literally, she was the disciplinarian and he was the person who just spoiled me silly.
And that actually leads me to the next question, because both of us actually have been raised by two parents, and there was usually one bad cop, one good cop. And in my case as well, my father was the good cop, is the good cop, and my mother was always the bad cop, and she was the one who was disciplining. And we both are at a stage in our lives where we are single parenting. Me to a large extent, and you almost fully, right? And you do have your mum who helps you. But tell us a little bit about that, because yours was actually by choice.
I think it was something I've always wanted. I feel like I'm inherently a parent, even when I wasn't. I've always had, feelings of paternal instincts towards the kids I worked with in the movies or the kids I've mentored as a director.
Like Alia, Varun.
Alia and Varun and all of them. And like, I just felt I always wanted, but I somehow knew that it was a decision I had to take along with my mom. And when I said it to her, when I felt I was fully emotionally equipped to be a parent, I asked her. And to my sheer and utter joy, she was like, "I can't wait." And I feel like it's daunting for me because I'm an only child and a single parent. And it's a double whammy of a situation because my mom's not been keeping really good health in the last year. She had a stroke last December, and from then on, she's not been able to do what she was doing as a co-parent. She's also 83 years old. So it is not easy, you know that, and I have twins, so I have double the issues. I'm the only dad on 2 WhatsApp mom groups. I'm the one who has to schedule their lives, give the time and balance it by running a company and be there for my mom. It's overall overwhelming, but that joy of just having that love, being the proud recipient of the love, when they come and give you that hug.
And it doesn't matter to them.
And I'm sad to say this, but I never want them to be unwell. I always want them to be happy. But the moment they hug you, when they have a tear in their eye and you feel like because now kids have stopped hugging the way they used to when they were 3 and 4. Now you have to beg for that love. Because there's nothing doing, because I am like my dad. My dad was tactile, wanted the hugs and kisses, and I desire it of my children. I want to be hugged when they meet me. But when they need you and they are feeling vulnerable and they give you that hug, that's to me heaven. That moment of that child in your arms and you hold them tight and just hug them with your core, I feel like, I don't know what heaven feels like, but that to me is my heaven.
No, same. And for me as well, I think the whole single parenting, yes, it is hard, but also because we're working and we do so many different things.
But have you seen the flip side, Sania? It's actually liberating because you're not at crossroads with anybody else. Like everybody else has.
Well, you're not.
Yeah, I know. Well, I know. You're
so that's why I don't have that flip side.
You're cross border as well. So I mean, you have a situation which is even more daunting and overwhelming. But at my end, I feel actually I'm blessed.
Of course.
Because I feel, when my twins were being born and when they were born, I had 100 people give me pieces of advice. on parenting twins, on
Yeah.
reading books, hearing podcasts. I did nothing. I was like, we are blessed with what we call a superpower. It's called instinct. Your instinct as a parent kicks in, and your instinct is different from every other situation and parental
Exactly.
circumstance.
And there is no right or wrong way.
No,
It is
and I'm
your
like,
way.
and overparent. There's something called overparenting, which
Yeah,
is
I
also
am not
something
an
totally wrong.
overparenting, but I do find it challenging to leave him. Like now
Yeah.
when I'm here,
Yeah.
because I live in Dubai and he
No,
goes
and
to
I feel
school
it the
there.
same when I have to
Yeah.
travel. I
That's
mean,
the biggest challenge for me,
it
like to
is.
stay away, right? Like
Yeah.
for a period of 1 week, then I have to like obviously just like your mom comes in, my mom, and what a blessing. Like right now she's with him because I'm working for this 1 week and I'm here and I won't see him, and that for me is the hardest part. Anything else I'm fine with.
But sometimes that will also make him more independent. I
Yeah.
always see the plus in everything. Instead of worrying about the minuses, I feel there are big pluses in every extreme such situation. Like the big plus here is that your son and my twins will be very, very independent, and they'll be strong and they'll be resilient.
Yeah.
And that's something that I would wish for all of them.
Like we say, inshallah.
Inshallah.
We really, really hope
Inshallah.
for that to happen. Last couple of questions. Both of us have been in the public eye or spotlight, if you say, for many years now. And I was very young. I was like 15, 16. You were as well. And it's hard. I mean, single parenting, all of this stuff, but also having romantic relationships is hard.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Do you feel that? How have you made peace with the fact that you are today you're single?
Yeah.
Or you're single, or we think you're single.
No, I am single.
Yeah, okay.
My status is
Your status is single. Okay.
completely
Your
single.
official status, public status is single.
No, my real status
Your real
is
status is single. So have you made a peace with that? That you're okay with it.
Yeah, there is a line in another song which हर किसी को नहीं मिलता यहाँ प्यार जिंदगी में खुशनसीब है वो जिनको है मिले ये बहार जिंदगी में. I'm okay now. There was a point of time I really wanted the love. I wanted companionship. I wanted
remember
a
talking
relationship.
about this
I wanted
with
a
you.
relationship. And I went through all kinds of dynamics, a broken heart, one-sided love. I even made a film on it. That was cathartic but beautiful for me. It helped me heal. I waited. I realized that is somebody going to love me for who I am or what I bring to the table? Then you come on with doubt. Then everyone says, oh, put yourself out there. I'm still looking for that there. I don't know where that there is. I've tried. Oh, go abroad. They say like, abroad milke pata nahi, what I'm going to find. Abroad, where do I go? I live here. I have a mom and 2 kids. I have to live here. So I've gone through those beats and I do get lonely. It's a reality. Where you get the loneliest is in your highs, not in your lows.
Actually.
Because in your lows, you have your mom, you have your closest
Family,
friends, I have 2 cousin sisters I'm very close to. I have my best friends. I have my family, my friends, my kids just to hug. In your highs, what you do? Like you celebrate a victory. Like I remember I got a call saying you won the national award and I put the phone down and for 1 hour I kept thinking like, what should I do tonight? Whose house do I go to? Who do I sit with and whose hand do I hold and who do I feel that I feel little bit, I should pat my back today and feel a little happy. It's those moments. When I went to receive the national award, they asked me who's your plus one and I had no one. I had no one. Like Apurva was winning it, who's my partner at work and my best friend, and he was bringing his wife. Everybody was discussing to spouse or mom and or whoever. And my mom is not physically capable of coming, and my kids are too young. And I was like, how? It just felt that reality of it. And many a night you sit at home and you're eating alone. Eating alone is the other thing that makes you feel a bit lonely. And you're watching.
I'm saying because I'm relating to a lot of
and
what you're saying.
Many a time I don't even go to the dining table, Sania, because that makes me feel worse. So I eat in my room. Like I know they say you shouldn't lie down and eat and you should sit and eat, but I sit up like this. They have a table, they put my food on it, and I eat. And I always watch something so I can actually dilute the emptiness of the moment or the loneliness of that being. Because I've come to realize that I'm okay today. I've dealt with it. But yes, the love of a partner, the sharing the nothings of your day or the highs of your life with is very different from what you get from a parent, a sibling, or a child. That love, and it's not the intimacy or the sex. It's just the partnership that you form of 2 people.
It's almost a friendship and the companionship, right? That's what you're talking about.
We are meant actually to be a unit of 2.
Yeah.
Real, true love comes from a partner that you have. Whether it was the beginning and origin of man and woman, or man and man, or woman and woman, and whatever the dynamic today is. But we are meant to be a unit of two, and then we go and create a family.
Yeah.
But the real unit is of two.
Is
We
of
were
two.
never meant to fly solo. No matter what
We
people
were
say.
created in pairs, is
Yes,
what is said.
yes, we are, and we are. Yeah, but now वो रब ने ये जोड़ी मेरे लिए नहीं बनाई.
But maybe,
You know,
maybe not yet.
And they say never say never. And
Yeah.
if that happens, my arms are wide open like Shah Rukh Khan's.
Yeah.
You know, I'm willing to welcome, I've told the best love stories. I sold love, but unfortunately, I didn't buy it myself.
The amount of times when you're talking about dinner, the amount of times I've skipped dinner because I didn't want to eat alone.
Yeah.
I think it helped me lose weight actually
Yeah.
because I'm just like, I don't, I'm like, I don't feel like eating dinner. I'd rather just watch something.
Many
or
a time I
I'd
feel
like, give me tea.
I'm lonely tonight, who should I call? And I have the friends to call.
Yeah.
But I'm also
That's
that guy who
different.
doesn't want to impose on anyone.
Yeah.
They have their families. Everyone I know is married. So I lean on mostly single people because I feel like they know my trauma. New Year के time irritating हो जाता है. Like क्या करें सब ये couples जा रहे. Couples के साथ तो मैं
it's the
कहीं नहीं जाना
worst.
चाहता. I don't want to go with couples. And people who are doing PD in front of me, I want to kill. Because I'm like, yaar, get a room. You love each other.
So
that's
you
great.
haven't made complete peace with it. Let's be honest.
Yeah, yeah.
You're saying I'm okay and I've made peace, but
Yeah, no, but now I have. In a sense, I have emotionally, but there is a gaping hole, and that is true.
that loneliness does come in.
Of
time
course
to
it
time,
is.
and
It is
and
a
I
lonely
agree with
life.
that.
And I think we're all lonely. Sometimes you can be lonely in a relationship.
Yeah.
You can be lonely in in a crowd. So loneliness has got to do with your state of being. You could be lonely, but I know that I seek the support of a partner and I don't have that. And
But
inshallah,
never
it will
say
happen.
never.
As I
Inshallah
said,
to
it
that
will
as
happen.
well. And with that, we're just going to go into a couple of rapid fire questions now.
Lovely.
If you had to make Kuch Kuch Hota Hai with today's actors, who would play Rahul, Anjali, and Tina?
I think Alia would be an absolutely great Anjali. I
Yeah.
think Ranveer Singh would be a great Rahul. And I think Ananya would be a great Tina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And none of them would be actually acting so much, I think.
Yeah, they would
just
all-
be.
I think it would be a great pairing.
Yeah.
I think Tina could be Ananya, Janvi, Sara. It could be any of the younger Nepo babies.
Yeah. The next question is, have you ever launched someone because their parents told you to do so?
No.
Asked you?
No. I knew their parents, but no parent ever called me and I
Asked
said,
and
okay,
said,
I'm
"Please
doing."
kar lo."
Never. Not once.
Not many people, because of the image that is there, they don't
No.
believe
I
it.
know that they are Nepo babies. I know their parents.
Yeah.
I've seen them grow up in front of me, but their parents have never called me. I've always called the parents. And let me tell you, I've been refused a few times also.
Really?
Yes.
Off camera, I'm going to have to ask you
Yeah,
who,
yeah.
not here. Have you ever replaced an actor last minute because you didn't think that, yeah, this guy's or this girl may not be the star enough that I'm thinking? Never.
Sometimes you replace a support actor because of the date clash or
Yeah.
some unprofessionality or some last minute contractual glitch.
But not
That's
because
happened.
of
Never because of.
Which song describes your love life right now?
राही मनवा दुख की चिंता क्यों सताती है दुख तो अपना साथी है सुख है एक छाँव ढलती आती है जाती है दुख तो अपना साथी है. That's my life.
You're making it sound so sad, yeah.
It's actually a very positive take on loneliness.
Really?
If you hear the lines, it's राही मनवा दुख की चिंता क्यों सताती है दुख तो अपना साथी है सुख है एक छाँव ढलती आती है
keeps
जाती है
coming,
but
yeah.
दुख तो अपना साथी है. If you embrace emptiness, loneliness, sadness, it's your ally. It becomes your strength.
One director you'd never want to compete with at the box office?
Sanjay Bansali.
Never.
Yeah. No. Sanjay Bansali, I'm in awe of, but Rajamouli, I'm not coming close
You're
to on a
not-
box office.
so
Sanjay
right.
Bansali's aesthetics and his cinema, I'm obsessed with. I'm a big fan. Rajamouli, sir, I have so much
Oh my
respect
God.
for his cinematic but box office achievement. I don't want to be close. I don't want to release 3 months around him also.
But also the understatedness he comes with, right?
He's just a genius.
He just comes and you're like,
He's
yeah,
just a
this
genius.
is 1,000 crores.
Rajamouli and Sanjay Bansali are my most favorite filmmakers
Yeah.
in this country.
If Bollywood had Big Boss, who would be voted out first?
Farah Khan, if she was in the house.
You think so?
Yeah, because she would say exactly what she is and upset the entire house because
But
she would be,
she knows, she's friends with everybody though.
yeah, but she would still tell them what their problems are and I would be very good in that house. I would manage because I'm a full people pleaser and Farah is a people teller. So she will just say it and she'll
would
be thrown out of that house.
She would be out. Yeah, actually, I can see that. A star you've wanted on Coffee with Karan, but they've kept refusing.
Ranbir Kapoor. He's been.
He's been now,
The last
yeah.
3 seasons he has said no.
But somebody who's never been?
Who have I asked and who's never come?
Virat.
I never asked Virat.
No.
Did I? I never asked Virat. And now I'm not asking any cricketers after what
Yeah,
happened
I
with
don't think
Rahul
you
and
should.
Hardik.
Bichare, I think you should just let them be.
I can't remember. There are many who I had a feeling only they won't come, so I never asked only.
Okay, you don't have to name the actor because unlike you, I won't put you under the hammer here. But have you ever worked with someone who you have really like or couldn't stand, but you've still worked with him or her because you knew it will deliver?
You know, I won't cast somebody only who I don't like.
You won't.
And this has been from the beginning. Like, if I feel uncomfortable with them, I won't cast them only. Like, I've never worked with any actor, even a star or a new kid or a
Who you don't
rising actor
like.
who I don't
Like whatever
who
you have a thing with.
I like to work people I can have a meal with.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's as simple.
You don't have to be best friends, but you
Yeah,
should
but
be
you
able
can
to
have a
stand
meal
each
with her, have
other
a
over a
chat.
meal.
Yeah, you can meet.
Yeah. Between Aditya Chopra and Shah Rukh Khan, who do you think has given you your bigger break in terms of?
Aditya Chopra is the reason why I sit here. Shah Rukh Khan is the force that created my creativity. But if it wasn't for Aditya Chopra, I wouldn't be here.
True or false? You've regretted giving someone their second film.
True.
Who's your current favorite Bollywood wife?
No, Mahip eternally.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Eternally Mahip.
And who's the biggest Bollywood diva that you've worked with?
Oh, who I love. Biggest Bollywood diva will always be Rekha. I haven't worked with it, but she would be the biggest Bollywood diva.
really-
I haven't worked with her.
We've reached our last segment,
Right.
and in this, I'm just gonna give you some situations, and you just tell me the people that you would, shout out to those people in these situations as the enemies to lover trope in your life. Could be platonic.
Not that they were ever enemies, but there were two relationships of mine where I've had a little bit of sulking fighting with both Kajal and Kareena. And they were never enemies because that's too strong a word. They were always deeply
Yeah.
close to me. And we went through some kind of tug. And exactly 2 years later, with both, we were back to being even closer than we were earlier.
To play in your biopic.
Ranveer Singh,
Really?
he'll be great. He's a chameleon. He can play any
That's
part.
true. Also, your clothing choices were similar.
Yes. My ex-clothing choices.
Your ex-clothing choices. As the next Coffee with Karan host, if you ever retired.
You know who'd be a great host? Arjun Kapoor.
Yeah,
He has a great personality. He's hilarious. He has great relationships with people. He's popular, and he's really funny and witty and
he's
on
got
the
an
spur witty.
amazing sarcastic sense
Arjun
of humor.
Kapoor.
As Bollywood's next it couple.
Ahan Pandey and Aneet Padda.
Next, is it?
Oh, well, they are yet not official.
Yeah.
So if they are going to be, and I don't know if they are because I haven't
I
checked.
don't know.
I haven't checked.
You haven't checked.
I
Okay.
haven't checked.
As the first call you make when a film flops and you need brutal honesty.
Aditya Chopra.
And lastly, if you were to make Devil Wears Prada in India, who would you cast as Meryl Streep and Anne Hathaway?
I would be Meryl Streep because I am born to play Miranda Priestley. And Anne Hathaway would be somebody who's like, I think she's played it a little. No, she's not. Who would play that real? But I think Sara Ali Khan would be a great because she's actually really like, to me, like not like a fashionable, wants to be easy in pajamas kind of girl. It would be her calling. She would be one choice. And I think the other girl who would be really cool would be actually Aneet, who's a great actor.
Yeah.
I think she'd be amazing. But I want to play Miranda Priestley. And if I had to be a woman, be Kareena Kapoor and nobody else.
That's true. I can totally see you and her actually do that.
I am Miranda Priestley.
You
in my
are
office.
actually in real life. You are. We don't need a film
I
for
say
that.
that's all to everybody all the time. It's my takya kalam. That's all. With
That's
a smile.
all.
Yeah. And they know. They exit right after that.
They know exactly from that smile.
And I
you're
look also
giving.
at what they're wearing, up and down. Like
See,
that,
because of this, you have an image that you're very bitchy
But,
and all.
but I'm doing all that for fun, by the way. Like, with Farah, how I love it.
Yeah.
She is the only person who laughs when I criticize what she's wearing.
Because she says that I will not call Karan, he'll start bitching on my crockery also now.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to call.
Yeah. Because I've started because you know what I call her party. I won't say it on.
No, let's not say
officially.
it.
Yes.
She will kill both of us
Yes.
over here. But with that, thank you so much.
No,
Karan,
thank you for calling me
being-
Sania, and more power to you. You're such a strong achiever, such an inspiration to women across the world, I would say. But of course, to our country mainly, because to see you achieve and be an achiever from such a young age, be resilient, go through all the trauma you have. Single parent your kid. I mean, in you, I see a woman of substance, substantial, and as strong inspiration. So thank you for inviting me.
Thank you. Don't forget to watch this episode on Myntra Glamstream Play to Slay.